Hi, I'm Dr. Fred Childs with ChurchMentor.net. Do you remember the story in the Bible about Ezekiel in the valley full of dry bones? At first, all that Ezekiel could see was a valley full of very dry bones. He had no hope to see anything else. But as the Spirit of God began to speak to him, and as he got involved with his own words and actions, eventually that valley full of very dry bones became a valley full of living people. That's the big picture, seeing beyond what you have now. If you have a big picture, you're going to be able to connect people to a common and shared vision that they can see clearly enough to embrace it as their own. Years ago at M.W. Kellogg Company, they had a very large model on the 13th floor. It was a replica of an oil refinery that had been built in Saudi Arabia. This model was built on a scale of 3/16 of an inch equals 1 foot. And yet this model had portions that were over 13 feet tall. That's big. But here's the thing. If you looked at that model of an oil refinery, it actually looked like the refinery that they built. It had all the different components, the pipe racks, the piping, as well as the large vessels. If you looked at that, it made sense. Whereas if you took a stack of drawings, tracings, engineering design pamphlets, they would not make sense. So in Saudi Arabia, with the language barriers and people trying to learn to communicate with each other, the picture was worth 1,000 words. And sometimes if you were having a hard time explaining to someone what was on paper, it was easy to show them by looking at the model. What am I saying? I'm saying that people need the big picture. The Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain. Make it clear. Make it very understandable. Remove the vagueness and ambiguity. Once they see the big picture, then it is much easier for them to zoom in and understand the various parts and components. In fact, they'll be able to clearly see where they fit in and why their actions are essential to make the vision come to pass. You need a big picture so that you can bring people together as one. Remember this, ChurchMentor.net, it works.